pra Oslo, pra sair no Oslodum, bloco afro da terra do bacalhau.
Oi, tudo bem? Welcome to this 13th lesson in a special series I'm creating to help you to jumpstart your Brazilian Portuguese. I'm Professor Jason, and the topic of today's lesson is talking about the past. What I'm going to do today is to introduce 3 verb tenses that are used a lot to talk about the past in Brazilian Portuguese. So specifically, I'll be introducing the forms for regular and irregular verbs in the simple past, the imperfect, and the past progressive or continuous past time frames. We'll also discuss a bunch of examples for each of these tenses so that you can see how they're used in everyday situations. So as you can tell, we've got a lot to cover. Então, vamos começar. Let's get started. Alright, so as usual, I wanted to give you a brief overview so you'll know what to expect in this lesson. I'm going to start off by talking about the past time frame in Brazilian Portuguese in general, just an overview. Then I'll go through 3 really frequently used tenses in the past: the simple past, the imperfect, and the continuous past or the past progressive. And for each of these tenses, I will show you the forms of regular and irregular verbs, and then I'll illustrate their most common uses with lots of examples. Finally, I'm going to end on a note about having realistic expectations and some strategies you can adopt as a beginner trying to master the past tenses. On this slide then, you can see a few uses or functions of the past time frame in Brazilian Portuguese. Of course, we can use the past to narrate sort of one-off actions, to say or to ask what happened or what someone did at a specific point in the past. We also need the past time frame, various past tenses, if we want to talk about ongoing or repeated actions, right? So to say what was happening or what someone was doing, to say what used to happen or what someone used to do or would always do. And also the past time frame helps us to describe conditions, right? To say what conditions were like at a certain point in the past. So sort of that context for a narration. So just to give you an idea of the variety of tenses that we might need to use to talk about past actions or past conditions, I've put 9 of them on the slide. Now don't worry, you don't need to learn all of these at once, right? But just to give you an example, right, of the 9 different forms that could be used. Number 1, eu estudei ontem. I studied yesterday. That would be the simple past. Number 2, eu já estudei a matéria. I have studied. I have already studied the material. Eu estudava com meus colegas depois da aula. I used to study or would always study. That's the imperfect. Number 4, eu estava estudando quando você me ligou. I was studying, right? That's that past progressive or continuous past. Number 5 is more of a present idea. You'll see. Eu tenho estudado muito esta semana. I have been studying. So that one might kind of go in parentheses. It's not purely referring to the past, but sort of a past, that idea of something that is still going on, that started in the past, but is still going on. Eu tenho estudado. I have studied a lot. Number 6, eu tinha estudado, mas não fui bem na prova. I had studied. Eu tinha estudado, but I didn't do well on the test. Mas não fui bem na prova. Number 7, você queria que eu estudasse de tarde. You wanted me to study. This is an imperfect or past subjunctive. Ela não acredita que eu tenha estudado. She doesn't believe that I have been studying. Right? So sort of a present progressive subjunctive, present perfect subjunctive, I should say. And number 9, o professor não acreditou que eu tivesse estudado. The professor didn't believe that I had studied. So toward the end, those are getting kind of complicated. We're going to focus on 3 of the most frequent tenses. Alright, so as I just mentioned, in this video, we're going to narrow it down to the 3 most frequent or commonly used past tenses. So we're going to start by looking at the simple past, or pretérito perfeito, as it's called in Portuguese. Things like, onde vocês foram ontem à noite? Você almoçou em casa, right? Where did you go? Did you have lunch at home? Secondly, the imperfect, or pretérito imperfeito in Portuguese. Eu não me sentia muito bem. I didn't feel very well, or I wasn't feeling very well. Ela visitava a sua mãe todo fim de semana. She used to or would always visit her mother on weekends. Estava muito calor quando saí de casa. It was very hot when I left the house. And then thirdly, or in third place, I don't know, past progressive, past continuous, or pretérito imperfeito contínuo, or passado contínuo, as it's known in Portuguese. Eu estava comendo quando você chegou. I was eating when you arrived. Qual filme você estava assistindo na TV? What movie were you watching on TV? Now, as promised, what we're going to do for each of these tenses, beginning with the simple past, is to present or introduce the forms for regular AR, ER, and IR verbs, and then some irregular high-frequency verbs as well. So what you're seeing on this slide is going to be a pattern or a model that you'll see repeated on a lot of the slides throughout this lesson. And you may be able to just skip ahead if there's a certain form you want to see. We're going to start with the simple past, regular AR verbs. So the first bullet point shows you the stem, right? The verb I'm using as a model is estudar, to study. You would take the stem, dropping off the AR, estud, right? And add the endings, A, O, amos, arum. So you'd come up with estudei, estudou, estudamos, estudaram. So another example of a mostly regular AR verb in the simple past or pretérito perfeito form would be chegar. Again, you start with the stem, cheg, and add the endings a, o, amos, arum. Now I say mostly regular because after the G in the first person singular, the eu form, we have to insert a U. Cheguei doesn't affect the pronunciation. Cheguei, chegou, chegamos, chegaram. Alright, sticking with the simple past forms, now switching to regular ER verbs, same pattern, right? Start with the stem, the verb is receber, to receive, recebe, and now the endings are a little bit different, pay attention. I, eu, emos, eram. So it'd be eu recebi, você recebeu, or ele, ou João, ou Carolina recebeu, nós recebemos, vocês, or eles, or elas, receberam. Another regular ER verb, just to reinforce what we just saw with receber. This time I went with perder, to lose. Perder. So the stem, we're dropping the ER, is per, and then we're adding the endings I, eu, emos, eram. Eu perdi, você perdeu, nós perdemos, vocês perderam. Alright, moving on to regular IR verbs. Okay, regular IR verbs, but still in the simple past. Now you might want to flip back to the last slide because the endings are similar, but there are some slight differences, right, between the ER and the IR verbs. So I'm going to use abrir to open as the first example verb. We're going to take the stem and add the endings I, iu, imus, iram. Eu abri, você, or ele abriu, nós abrimos, vocês, ou eles, ou elas, abriram. They opened. Okay, and still with the simple past, one more example of a regular IR verb. Similar to the verb we saw a couple slides ago, perder, but this is pedir, to ask or to request. Again, the endings are I, iu, imus, iram. Eu pedi, I asked. Você pediu, you requested. Nós pedimos. Vocês, ou eles, ou elas, pediram. Alright, on this slide then, we're still talking about the simple past. What I want to show you on the next 3 or 4 slides are some extremely common verbs, very high frequency verbs, that have irregular forms. Now these forms in the simple past, and these forms simply have to be memorized, but the verbs are so frequent that you're going to hear them all the time. So I have these slides or these tables arranged a little bit differently with the pronoun positions down the left-hand column and the verbs going across horizontally. So the first verb is estar. Then we have ser. Then we have ir. So you can see how these forms are irregular, right? Eu estive, I was. Você esteve, estivemos, estiveram. Eu fui. So notice that the forms for ser and ir are the same, right? Eu fui, você foi, nós fomos, vocês foram. 3 more super high frequency verbs in the simple past that have irregular forms would be ter, to have, poder, to be able to, and fazer, to do or to make. Eu tive, você teve, nós tivemos, vocês tiveram, pude, pôde, pudemos, puderam, fiz, fez, fizemos, fizeram. 3 more extremely common verbs that have irregular forms in the simple past, starting with haver. Haver means, right, it's an auxiliary verb most of the time, but it's also an impersonal verb that indicates presence, right? So, and there's only one form in the impersonal. That would be houve. So if I wanted to say there were 20 people at the meeting, I might say houve 20 pessoas na reunião. Houve. Dizer, to tell or to say. Eu disse, você disse, nós dissemos, vocês disseram. And dar, to give, very irregular. Eu dei, você deu, nós demos, eles deram. Another set of 3 very common but highly irregular verbs in the simple past. Ver, to see, vir, to come, and por, to put. Notice that ver and vir have similar forms that are often confused, not just in the simple past, but in other tenses. You really have to have these forms down and be able to differentiate between ver, to see, and vir, to come. So I saw, eu vi. He saw, ele viu. We saw, nós vimos. They saw, eles viram. Right? I came, eu vim. He came, ele veio. We came, nós viemos. And they came, or you all came, vocês vieram. So the verb por, to put, eu pus, você pôs, pusemos, puseram. All right, so just 2 more, it's a lot of verbs, but 2 more that are very, very common and high frequency verbs that have irregular forms in the simple past and have to be memorized would be saber, to know or to find out in the past, and querer, to want, right? Eu soube, você soube, nós soubemos, vocês souberam. And for querer, eu quis, você quis, nós quisemos, vocês quiseram. Okay, so we just looked at the forms of verbs, regular AR, ER, and IR verbs, and some very common high frequency irregular forms in the simple past. So now let's talk about when we use the simple past and look at some examples. So we're going to use the simple past, o pretérito perfeito, to ask what someone did at a certain point in time. So what'd you do yesterday, right? O que você fez ontem à noite? What'd you do last night? Eu assisti filme, você? I watched a movie, and you? Eu estudei para a prova de biologia. I studied. Or to ask details about something that happened at a certain point in the past. Details. Onde vocês jantaram ontem? So the emphasis is on where. Jantamos naquele restaurante do centro. Qual time? Which team? Qual time ganhou o campeonato? Ganhou Corinthians. And of course, we're going to use the simple past, o pretérito perfeito, to tell what you or someone else did at a certain point in time. Again, the emphasis is on what someone did, what you did at a certain point in time. Right? This is a one-off past action. Por exemplo, eu recebi uma carta ontem, yesterday. I received a letter. Eles saíram às 4 da tarde. They left at 4 p.m. O Felipe chegou tarde e assistiu ao jornal. He arrived late, got home late, and watched the newscast. That was yesterday. A gente não foi ao museu na quarta-feira. We didn't go to the museum on Wednesday. Minha mãe falou com minha tia semana passada. She spoke with my aunt last week. Meu pai me buscou no shopping. My father picked me up at the mall. Vocês disseram a verdade quando falaram com a polícia. So on that one occasion, specific occasion in the past, You told the truth when you spoke to the police. So discrete one-off actions in the past at a specific point in time. A empregada fez a cama do menino. The maid made the boy's bed. We're also going to use the simple past to ask whether, kind of a yes or no situation, whether someone did something at a certain time, point in time. And notice the question answer sort of structure, right? So if I want to say, did you work a lot yesterday? Você trabalhou muito ontem? Trabalhei, sim. Right? So you answer with the verb again in a yes or no context. Yes, I did work. Trabalhei, sim. Vocês abriram a garrafa de vinho? Did you open the bottle of wine? Abrimos, sim. Você foi à praia com sua namorada? Fui, sim, mas choveu muito. So yes, I did go. Fui, sim. Irregular. Você decidiu em qual hotel ficar? Did you decide which hotel to stay at? Decidi, sim. Yes, I did decide. And then finally, similar to asking or telling what someone did at a certain point of time, I wanted to emphasize that many verbs are used in the simple past to talk about what happened at a certain point in time. So I might say, it rained a lot yesterday. Choveu bastante ontem. Or there was a party, right, on the square last weekend. Houve, remember that's the impersonal form. Houve uma festa na praça no fim de semana passado. Was there class last night? Did class occur last night? Teve aula ontem à noite? You could also say houve aula, mas teve is more common. Teve aula ontem à noite? Teve, sim. Yes, there was class. O gato caiu da cama. The cat fell off the bed. True story. O centro ficou lotado. So downtown was crowded. Por causa do festival. Ficou lotado. The verb is ficar. Esse prédio pegou fogo durante a noite. That building burned down last night. Again, the important thing to remember is these are one-off actions that happened at a specific time in the past. The meeting lasted 45 minutes. The verb is durar. A reunião durou 45 minutos. Did the TV series end? Acabou o seriado? It did end, unfortunately. Acabou sim, infelizmente. That phone call was way too long. Lasted too long. Essa ligação demorou demais. You could say durou demais or demorou demais. Okay, so we just talked a lot about the simple past. Now we're going to switch to our second main verb tense in the past, and that's the imperfect, right? So I'm going to start again by presenting the forms of regular AR, then ER, then IR verbs. Then we'll come back to some of those high frequency verbs that are often irregular. Then we'll go into the uses and examples. But again, we're completely switching gears to a second major past tense, the imperfect. We're going to see those first two bullet points. Same thing, we're going to take the same verbs, estudar. We're going to start with the stem of that verb. Now we're going to add the endings for the imperfect forms, right? Ava, ava, avamos, avon. If you know Spanish, this should be somewhat familiar. It would be ava, ava, right? So, eu estudava, você or ele estudava, nós estudávamos, accenting that third to last syllable on that form. Vocês estudavam. All right, for the second example of a regular AR verb in the imperfect tense, I mixed it up and I went with falar, okay? So again, the endings are ava, ava, avamos, avon, right? Eu falava, ela, você falava, nós falávamos, vocês falavam. Now you might have noticed that the endings on this particular example verb, receber, look very different because we were just dealing with ava, ava, avam, avamos, avon. With ER verbs and IR verbs, the endings are ia, ia, íamos, iam. So again, receber, right? I used to receive, he used to receive, we used to receive. Eu recebia, você recebia, nós recebíamos, vocês recebiam. So another regular ER verb in the imperfect, just to reinforce what we just saw, perder, to lose. right? I used to lose, you used to lose, we used to lose. Perdia, você perdia, nós perdíamos, vocês perdiam. In the imperfect tense, the endings for the IR verbs are identical to those for the ER verbs, okay? And again, imperfect, so our example verb is abrir, to open. Eu abria, I used to open. He, she, it, right? You opened or used to open, abria. So for example, that store used to open early. Essa loja abria cedo. Nós abríamos, vocês ou eles ou elas abriam. And here we have pedir, right? To ask or request. Just one more example of a regular IR verb in the imperfect. Okay? Eu pedia, você pedia, nós pedíamos, eles, vocês, elas pediam. Alright, so I know this is a lot of stuff to keep straight. We're still on the imperfect tense, and we're back to our frequent, often irregular verbs. But what you'll notice as we go through these same verbs like estar, ser, ir, ter, vir, ver, por, right, is that in the imperfect, as opposed to the simple past, some of them are not irregular. So for example, if you look at estar, that verb actually follows the regular formation rules. Eu estava, você estava, nós estávamos, eles estavam, right? But ser is irregular. Eu era, você era, nós éramos, vocês eram. Now ir looks more regular, right? Eu ia, você ia, nós íamos, vocês iam. So again, with the simple past, all the verbs on this slide had crazy irregular forms that had to be memorized. Now, in the case of the imperfect, all of the forms are technically, well, except for ter. Poder e fazer follow the regular paradigm, but ter has an irregularity. Eu tinha, I used to have. Você tinha, nós tínhamos, vocês tinham. Poder e fazer, like I said, regular. Eu podia, você podia. You used to be able to. Nós podíamos, vocês podiam. Fazer, eu fazia, você fazia, nós fazíamos, vocês, eles, elas faziam. Again, with another set of our very frequent verbs, high frequency verbs, but you'll notice they're all basically regular in the imperfect, as opposed to the simple past. Havia as an auxiliary, right? Eu havia, você havia, nós havíamos, vocês haviam. Dizer, to say or to tell. I used to always say, eu dizia. My mother used to always say, ela dizia. Nós dizíamos, vocês, eles, elas diziam. Dar, dava, você dava, nós dávamos, vocês davam. On this set of very high frequency verbs, right, some of which may be irregular, we can see that two of the three, vir and por, have some irregular looking forms. But ver, again, to see, I used to see, eu via, you used to see, você via, nós víamos, vocês viam. Vir, to come, eu vinha, ele vinha, você vinha, nós vinhamos, vocês vinham. And por is very irregular. Eu punha, você punha, nós punhamos, e elas punham. Punham. And now finally, the last two verbs in our set of extremely common verbs that are sometimes irregular. You'll notice again we have saber and querer, but in the imperfect tense, their forms are regular. Eu sabia, você sabia, nós sabíamos, vocês sabiam. Querer, eu queria, você queria, nós queríamos, vocês, eles, elas queriam. Okay, so we've covered the forms of regular and irregular verbs in the imperfect tense. Now, just like the simple past, I want to go over some of the common uses and illustrate those uses with examples. So for the imperfect, we're going to use this tense that we just saw to ask or say what someone used to do, or would always do in the past. So we're talking about habitual or repeated actions in the past. So something like, when I was a little kid, I used to climb trees. Quando era criança, gostava de subir em árvores. Or, my sister used to always cheat every time we played board games. Trapacear. A minha irmã trapaceava cada vez que jogávamos jogos de mesa. So here we have something that indicates, right, repetition, right? Cada vez que. Or a question like, what did you always used to do on weekends? Or, excuse me, on holidays? O que você fazia durante as férias? Geralmente, I used to go, eu ia à praia, ou ficava em casa, I would stay home, ficava em casa assistindo TV. Who used to make lunch at home when you were a kid, criança? Quem fazia o almoço em casa quando você era criança? There was a maid, or we had a maid, that used to cook for us. Tinha uma empregada que cozinhava para nós. Or you might say, tínhamos, we had, uma empregada que cozinhava para nós. Like we saw with the simple past, of course you can use the perfect tense to ask whether or not, right? Someone would always or used to do something, so the yes or no, right, format. Vocês falavam só inglês na aula? Did you used to only speak English in class? Falávamos sim, o tempo todo. So again, that emphasis on reiteration or recurrence. Você trabalhava todos os sábados? Did you used to work every Saturday or on Saturdays? Trabalhava sim, mas descansava aos domingos. I used to rest on Sundays. Did your father always come home really late from work? Seu pai sempre saía bem tarde do trabalho? Or did he always get off work very late? Seu pai sempre saía bem tarde do trabalho? Nem sempre, not always. Às vezes ele saía mais cedo. Sometimes he would get off earlier. It's important to point out that the imperfect is also used to describe, right? To describe what was happening or what someone was doing or feeling in the past. So to frame a narration, right? To set up the background conditions or actions. So I might say something like, the weather was nice. The weather before the game started was nice. Fazia bom tempo antes de começar o jogo. Or there were a lot of people at the stadium. Tinha muitas pessoas no estádio. A man was reading the newspaper and some young people were drinking coffee. Homem lia o jornal e uns jovens tomavam café. O pianista tocava uma música familiar. So you can see how these are background actions, context actions. Ana sentia muito medo. She felt a lot of fear. She was very afraid. E não sabia o que fazer. And she didn't know what to do. So all of these are examples of background conditions or actions. Chovia muito quando ocorreu o acidente de trânsito. Here we have a background action, chovia muito, and then something that occurs to interrupt that action. In the simple past, ocorreu. Eu estudava inglês, I was studying, or I studied English, quando conheci a minha namorada. So again, a background action in the past interrupted by a one-off action in the past. I was studying English when I met my girlfriend. I also wanted to point out that this tense, the imperfect, is simply used more often, more commonly than the simple past with certain verbs. So for example, the verb estar or poder, querer, saber, ter. Some examples. Você sabia que ela tinha 29 anos? Eu não sabia, não. Achava que tinha 20. Did you know she was 29? I didn't know that. I thought she was 20. So the verbs saber, sabia, tinha, those are just more frequent, more common in the language, right? So if you have to guess between sabia and soube, or tinha and teve, it's probably sabia and tinha. Where were you when I called you yesterday? Onde você estava quando te liguei ontem? I was at home, estava em casa, but I didn't want to talk, mas não queria conversar. So you wouldn't say, não quis conversar. You could, but queria is more common. Achei que você estava chateada comigo. I thought you were upset with me. So again, estar, querer, saber, ter. Tinha muitas pessoas na festa do João na terça. There were a lot of people at his party. I wanted to go. Eu queria ir também, mas não podia. Tinha que estudar. I wanted to go too, but I couldn't. I had to study. So again, moral of the story of the slide, certain verbs estar, poder, querer, saber, ter. The imperfect form is probably more common than the simple past. Okay, hold on folks, because we're almost done. We've come to our third major, very frequent verb tense in the past. That's going to be the past continuous, the continuous past, or the past progressive. And this verb tense is formed by combining a form of the verb estar, conjugated in the imperfect form, which we just saw is estava, estava, estávamos, estavam, and then adding the gerund or present progressive form of the verb. So if those are AR verbs, regular AR verbs, like estar or estudar, the form would be estando. You take the stem and you add ando. So, eu estava estudando. I was studying. Você estava falando. You were speaking. Nós estávamos falando. Vocês estavam estudando. To say what somebody was doing, right? What actions were in progress at a certain point in the past. When we're dealing with ER verbs in this time frame, in this tense, right? The auxiliary verb estar is still conjugated in the imperfect, and we take our stem of an ER verb like comer or escrever, to write, and we add the endo ending, which is going to be our present progressive or gerund, right? Like the English ing. Eu estava comendo. I was eating. Você estava escrevendo. You were writing. Nós estávamos comendo. We were eating. Elas estavam escrevendo. They were writing. And then a final look at these forms. Let's look at some regular IR verbs, right? Again, we have our auxiliary verb estar. Forms are estava, estava, estávamos, estavam. And we take the stem of our IR verb, and instead of ando or endo, we're going to add indo, right? So abrir, to open, sair, to leave or to go out from. Eu estava abrindo a porta. Ela estava saindo de casa. Nós estávamos abrindo a loja. We were opening the store. Eles estavam saindo do trabalho. They were leaving work. So as I think I just mentioned a couple slides back, this past continuous or past progressive tense, we're going to use that to tell or to ask what actions a person was doing at a certain point in the past. So some examples. O que você estava fazendo quando te vi ontem no centro? So that time point, that point in the past is when I saw you downtown. What were you doing? Eu estava comprando algumas coisas. I was buying a few things. O que vocês estavam fazendo na biblioteca? What were you doing at the library or in the library? We were studying. Estávamos estudando para a prova de inglês. O que você estava bebendo em aquele bar? Estava bebendo uma caipirinha. I was drinking. What were you drinking? O que você estava bebendo? Estava bebendo uma caipirinha. Another very frequent use of this past continuous, continuous past, past progressive is to tell or ask what someone was doing when something else happened to interrupt it, right? So for example, she was watching a series on Netflix when her Wi-Fi, right, cut out. Ela estava vendo seriado na Netflix quando caiu o Wi-Fi. Ela estava vendo seriado na Netflix quando caiu o Wi-Fi. Você estava cozinhando quando acabou o gás? Were you cooking? That's our continuous past. When the gas went out, or the gas was cut off. Quando acabou o gás? Eu estava estudando espanhol quando me interessei pelo português. So the ongoing action in the past was I was studying Spanish. What happened to interrupt that was suddenly I became interested in Portuguese. True story. Eu estava estudando espanhol quando me interessei pelo português. Or, meu professor estava preparando a aula quando bati na porta dele. My professor was getting class ready when I knocked on his office door. You're also going to use the continuous past to describe conditions that were happening or going on. So, describing conditions. Estava chovendo quando saímos de casa. It was raining when we left the house. Now finally, as promised, some expectations or strategies for beginners, right? It's been a lot of information, right? Maybe overwhelming, but don't worry, because you can't master all of this at once, and you don't need to. What you want to do, a recommendation for strategy, is to prioritize which forms you focus on, right? In conversation, most often you're going to use the first person singular, eu, and the você forms because you're going to be asking and answering questions. So learn those forms first and focus on the most frequent verbs. Work on noticing also when you're being asked questions, when you're listening conversations, right? What time frame is being used? Are the questions coming at you in the past, the present, the future? Work on noticing that. That's important, right? So if somebody says, o que você fez ontem? Oh, okay, past tense. Eu joguei tênis, right? Ou eu escutei música, eu assisti seriado, okay? Make a list of the types of questions involving past time frame you hear a lot, okay? So you're gonna, if you pay attention to your conversations, you're gonna notice that people ask you about certain things in the past very frequently. Make a list of those kinds of questions and practice how you would answer them. That's one way of managing this, right? So again, practice basic dialogues in which you're asked and you have to respond in the past, okay? And finally, be patient. Kind of goes with that first bullet point, don't worry. Your grasp of the past time frame forms and tenses and uses is going to get better over time, I promise. But you can always refer back to this video as a reference. All right, well that's it for Lesson 13 in the series. Hope you found this presentation on the past tenses, talking about the past, to be informative and useful. If so, please share it with others and let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, okay? Be sure to catch the next lesson in the series and all the lessons in the series, and don't forget to look me up on all your favorite social media platforms. I'm just about everywhere. Thanks again very much for watching, and be sure to visit the Professor Jason channel again soon. Até breve. Ciao.
Eu vou pra Oslo, pra sair no Oslodum. Bloco A.